What's going on, guys? All right, so this video, as you see, it says, this is why I don't use debit cards, why I prefer to use credit cards, and then why I also just don't use cash. I don't even carry cash, like literally my wallet. It just has nothing but plastic. For starters, it's easy to carry plastic than to have like a bulky wallet. You gotta have like the wallet's like this fat, and then it's like your pocket is like, I don't want that. I'd rather just like put plastic in, little slips on your wallet and just keep it condensed. And I don't need all that. I don't need the bulkiness. But for starters, I think that a lot of Americans, they don't use credit cards because like we're told information that's like not true, or we're just like misled. And another thing too, like Americans are not just Americans, but people overall, we're irresponsible when it comes to credit cards. So I get why people don't use credit cards, but I'm really just going to give you guys information on why I feel you should use credit cards rather than using debit or cash. All right, let's say you lost your wallet. Your wallet has your cash in it, it has your debit cards, it has your credit cards, it has everything in it, right? You lost your wallet and you just got notification that someone used $2,000 of your actual debit card. They used $2,000 of your credit card, and let's say you had $1,000 in cash. Now they took that as well, right? You file a police report or whatever you want to go about doing it, how you want to go about doing it. For starters, if they use $2,000 of your debit card, that's direct access to your checking account, which is your personal money. If they use $2,000 of your credit card, that's $2,000 of the bank's money. If they take $1,000 in your cash, I mean, that's it. You're not getting your cash back. So what you're doing, you're opening yourself up to people being able to take your personal money, and you don't want to do that. And like you're vulnerable by doing that. What you want to do is OPM. You use other people's money, and by other people, I'm talking about the bank's money. So it works just like this, guys. When you use the bank's money, let's say fraud happens to you, right? If fraud happens to you with a credit card, it works like this. The banks have to prove that it's not you, but with debit cards, you have to prove it's not you. And then I know you guys may comment and say, hey, but what about like fraud protection? I get that, but that's still gonna take time. With credit cards, like if you're like down $2,000, you call them up, hey, that wasn't me. They're gonna close that card, send you another card the very next day, or maybe 2 business days. With a debit card, it doesn't work that way. Yeah, you have fraud protection, but a lot of times it's gonna be a time process. And it's like, why would you want that? So now you're down your own personal money, your own $2,000 for like the next week or two, which you probably needed that for something else. And by doing that, now you're like scrambling around trying to figure out how you're gonna manage and how you're gonna maneuver. And why would you want to put yourself in that predicament? You just want to avoid that. And again, as I said, use other people's money, use the bank's money. Using the bank's money and then just paying it off is like an IOU. If you have, and that's another thing too, guys. If you have like $2,000 that you spend every month, just use $2,000 on that credit card, and that way you can just pay it back. Don't use $8,000 a month knowing that you can't pay that back, and that's going back to being irresponsible. And the reason why I'm saying that, because a lot of us do that. What we'll do is we'll overcharge ourselves on the credit card, knowing that we can't pay $8,000 back in that month, and then whatever that balance is, that's going to go to the next month. So what that balance is doing, you're putting yourself in a deeper, more hole in debt, and we don't want to do that. So if you want to avoid interest, which is like ridiculous, it's like pretty much they're charging you because you didn't pay the whole card in full. So now you're putting yourself in more debt. It doesn't make sense. It's ridiculous. You literally should just pay the card off in full when the due date. When the due date comes. But back to what I was saying about that. What you want to do is you want to treat your credit card like a debit card. Spend only what you can afford. Don't spend anything else. And then on top of that, another reason why you should use credit cards rather than using debit cards or even just cash, which is like, cash is no one should carry cash. Like literally, you don't really need cash for nothing. And then we have Square Cash or the Cash app. We have Zelle. We have so many things, Venmo, so many things for us to not carry cash anymore. It doesn't make sense to do it. But then back to what I was saying. I know this video is kind of long. Back to what I was saying about what was I talking about? Oh, credit card, debit card. I forgot. One of the two. I think was it credit card? What was I talking about? Oh yeah, credit cards. Right. So rewards. Yeah, there we go. So debit cards, they don't give you rewards, but credit cards, they give you rewards. So let's say you may have a credit card that gives you cash back, 2% cash back, 3% cash back. That's good because now you're literally getting money for spending money. You can't do that with a debit card. And then on top of that, you get rewards. You get rewards like you may have travel rewards with that certain credit card. You may have cash back rewards with that credit card. You may have access to like 50% off, some things percent off that you have because of the fact that, or travel perks like you points on your next flight, on your next hotel stay, on your next car rental, all these things because you have that credit card rewards. Now all you got to do for those rewards is just have to like do your research on what type of card you want. If you want travel rewards, if you want cash back rewards. And then once you do that, you just open up that card, make sure you fit the requirements for those rewards and you get that. You can't get that with a debit card, and it's your money too. Like, guys, the fact that it's your money, and like why do you want to use your money? Why not use their money and then just pay it off? Like, it just makes sense. It doesn't make sense for you to use your money, putting yourself in deeper debt. Like, just use the bank's money, pay it off, get the rewards, and then, move forward with that. That's the smart way to go about it, guys. The rich do this. If you want to be a part of the wealthy and be the rich, do what they do. They don't spend their personal money. They spend other people's money. They spend the bank's money. So if they spend the bank's money, you should spend the bank's money, guys. So that pretty much wraps up this video. Don't use cash. Don't use debit card. Use credit cards.